Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Euro Cooking Canuck. In tonight's segment of Memories of Malta, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a vegetarian dish. Now, Malta's known for their excellent lasagna, as are a lot of countries out there, and there are a million lasagna recipes out there. So tonight what I'm going to do is a vegetarian lasagna inspired by the flavors of Malta. Now guys, my recipes are always usually really versatile, and if you really wanted to go ahead and add meat, go ahead, but it kind of defeats the purpose, eh? So guys, sit right back and I'm going to show you what we're going to need to make this amazing vegetarian Maltese inspired lasagna. See you in a bit. Okay gang, I'm back to show you what we're going to need to make vegetarian lasagna. Right, let's begin. What I have here is a pack of peppers. I always wanted to say that. No, what I have here are some red bell peppers. And you can use green, you can use yellow, you can use orange, you can use red, you can use a combo. It's up to you. These guys are going to act as our noodles. Yep. So, I mean, it can't be totally vegan because we're going to be using cheese. But if you want to use a vegan cheese in here, then it can be totally vegan as well. So this is going to be our noodles. As far as our meat, our filling goes, I have 2 packs of white mushrooms. You can use cremini, it's up to you. They're about 230 grams each. And I also have 2 cans of dark red kidney beans, which I will rinse. And this is going to act as our meat filling, the beans and the mushrooms, and onions. I have 2 cooking onions here. Like I said, we will be using cheese. I have a light ricotta. I have 2 tubs of this. So this will be our cheese layer. And of course, you might want to grate some Parmesan Reggiano or some Swiss or some mozzarella on top when it's nearly done. That's up to you. All right, so let me just remove this. They're going on the floor and my cat's looking like, what the heck is all that? Alright, so now it comes to the sauce, guys. Now, I'm trying to keep this, like I said, inspired by the flavors of Malta. So first of all, any sauce, obviously, you're going to need some tomato sauce or passata is what I have here. And I have some leftover that I'm going to use. Or you can use a can of conserva or tomato paste with your liquid. And I'm probably going to combine these 2 together because it's not quite enough in here. I have a couple of bay leaves, and to keep it that Maltese kind of flavor in my sauce, I have some curry powder, some parsley flakes. I ran out of fresh, believe it or not, but if you have fresh, go ahead and use it, obviously. Oregano, crushed chili peppers, some ground salt and ground pepper, garlic to taste. I like it garlicky, guys. And of course, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce or Worcestershire sauce. Right, so this is going to be going into my sauce. Now, if you guys don't want to make your own sauce, you can cheat. Go ahead and buy a jarred or canned sauce. That's fine. But what I would do if you wanted to make this more of a Maltese flavor is I would go ahead and add the curry, the oregano, the parsley, the Worcestershire sauce, and the bay leaves. But you know, that's completely up to you guys. So that's all we're going to need to make it. Now I'm going to show you what we do. See you in a bit. Hey gang, I'm back to show you the first step. Our noodles, or our peppers. These have to go into an oven or on a grill or over charcoal, or what you're looking for is to get them blackened and blistered. And then you're going to set these aside and cool, and you're going to peel the blackened skin off, and these will be our noodles. So throw these in your oven or on your grill or on your stove top and get that skin blackened and blistered. In the meantime, we're going to start on our filling, and I'll show you that in just a sec. Okay guys, I'm back with my veggie that's going to act as our meat. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've washed my mushrooms and chop them finely. Not too fine, but you want them in small pieces. They will melt down, but don't forget, this is going to resemble our mince, our ground beef. Mushrooms, guys, wash your mushrooms. I don't care what people tell you. Oh, just rub them with Kleenex or a paper towel. Guys, mushrooms grow in poo. Okay, I don't want to eat poo, and neither do you. They say you should rub them and not wash them because they absorb too much water. Well, you're not taking them for a swim. You're just quickly washing them, then patting them dry. How much water are they going to absorb? So, guys, I always wash my mushrooms. And I don't waste my mushrooms either. What I do, I saved one here to show you. What I do is I just take the end off because it's usually dry or gnarly, and I use the whole stem. So for this, hope I'm showing you, I just gave it a couple of chops one way and a couple of chops the other way, and that's it. And I've also gone ahead and started to chop up my onion. I just wanted to show you this onion. I have an onion within an onion. What the heck is up with that? Do I win a prize or something? How does that happen? Anyways, he's getting chopped up anyway. Alright, guys, and I also have my kidney beans, which were rinsed very well and drained. When you're using beans from a can especially, rinse them really, really well, because there's an enzyme in beans, especially the ones that are sitting in that liquid in the can, that make you know what I mean? So rinse your beans really, really well, and that will not stop completely, but it will help with the and I think your friends and family might appreciate it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do with my beans is I'm just going to break them up a little bit. I'm not going to mash them. It's not mashed potatoes. You're just going to crack them kind of thing, like that. It's because you want them to resemble the meat, right? You want them to be a little broken up. So I'm going to continue with my beans on a proper surface. And I have my skillet, my big pan for my sauce ready. I have some olive oil in there. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to toss these guys in there. And I'll see you when they're all in there. All right, guys, stay with me. Hey guys, welcome back. I have my mushrooms and onions in my large skillet, and it's like on a medium high heat. I don't want to go too high. I don't want the onions to go brown on me or black. And now all I'm going to do is go ahead and hit it with some seasoning, just some sea salt and cracked black pepper to start. The rest of the spices will go in with the sauce. Now you're probably noticing that the beans are not in here because the beans are already cooked. Don't forget, they're from a can, so I don't want them to turn to complete and utter mush. But they will go in here with my chopped garlic, and they'll get cooked through and heated through, and then the sauce will go in. The reason I don't put the garlic in now is because you don't want the garlic to scorch. There's nothing worse than scorched garlic. It's really bitter. Okay, guys, this is going back onto the stove, and then I'm going to add my beans, my garlic, and I'll show you what's next. Hey guys, okay, our mushrooms are pretty much reduced. The onions are soft, and it really smells lovely. As you're going to notice here, the mushrooms do give out a lot of water because they are pretty much 90% water. And that's okay because it's going to absorb into the beans and it will also evaporate. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. I left my knife in the kitchen. That wasn't too clever, but oh well. Make do. Alright, so my garlic's going to go in, and don't forget this is going back on the stove for a bit, so the garlic will heat up and fry with the mushrooms and onions and the beans. And now it's time to put my beans. Here are my beans. They're not completely mashed, there are still pieces in there, but it's more resemblant of a mince, wouldn't you say? I would. Okay. Sorry for the angle, guys, but you know, I gotta see what I'm doing too. Right. Pardon me. Okay. So everything's in here. Everything's gonna get mixed up. It's gonna go back on the hob. This is gonna heat through. The water will evaporate, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our sauce. See you in just a bit. Hey guys, look what I have. My peppers have blackened and blistered, and it does not take a long time at all. You just have to keep an eye on them, give them a couple of turns on a very high oven. All right, so they're gonna chill out and cool. What you can do if you want, you can put these in a brown paper bag and they sweat, and then the skins will be easier to take off. But my paper bag is very small, so I'm just gonna do it that way. Okay, my sauce. I went ahead and added my tomato paste, the conserva, with the passata and some water. And now this is going to slowly simmer on the stove, and it will reduce and thicken up. And I also added in all of my spices. Oh, and one thing I did add in here, guys, as well, I forgot to mention, is I did put a vegetable cube in here. But that's up to you. You don't have to. And if you wanted, I mean, it wouldn't be completely vegetarian, but you can put a beef cube in here to make the filling taste a little more beefy. Okay, guys, so this is going to go back on the stove, and I'll show you when it's all thickened and probably ready to assemble. And I'm going to show you what I do with the peppers next. Okay, guys, stay with me. Okay, guys, my sauce is cooking away. I tasted it. Oh my gosh, it's really, really good. And I'm back with a red pepper just to show you how easy it is. Now, this is still a little warm, but I can work with it. If you're lucky enough to have the stem still attached, what you can do is gently give it a pull, and it comes out. And then what you can do, you should use a knife probably, but give it a split. Hope I'm showing you. And open her up. And then the seeds are easy to take out, like that. Done. Now, like I said, this is a little warm still. But the skin should peel away quite easily. Should. It's still a little bit warm. There we go. Right. So you're just going to gently and carefully continue peeling the skin. See, it just comes off real easy. Don't be over rambunctious, otherwise you're going to tear your pepper. And you're going to just continue peeling. It's almost therapeutic, actually. Like, you know when you have a suntan and then you blister and the skin, like, you starts peeling? It's kind of like that. Oh, almost feels good. Alright, guys, you get the idea. I'm going to continue with the rest of my peppers, and I'll see you guys back when we're about to assemble. Peel me. Okay, guys, I peeled all my red peppers. And a hint, if you let them cool completely and peel them under running water, it really helps. The skins come right off. So what I've ended up having to use for this recipe were 11 red bell peppers, but they were quite small. They weren't like a huge bell pepper. So if you're going to use like a really, really big bell pepper, you probably only need maybe 9, 8. I'd say 8 probably. But mine were, you saw the size of them. They weren't huge, so I ended up using 11. So guys, that's the red pepper's done, and the sauce is thickening up. It's smelling wonderful. It's tasting wonderful, and all it's left to do is assemble. So I'll show you that when we get there, which won't be too long from now. Okay, guys, see you in a bit. Okay, guys, it's time to pretend you're Bob the Builder, and we're going to layer our veggie lasagna. Now, what I've gone ahead and done already is just put a little bit of the tomato sauce that we created on the bottom of my casserole dish, and now it's time to layer. So, first thing you would do is obviously your noodles. So I'm going to go ahead with our pseudo noodles, which is our red peppers, and hopefully I can see what I'm doing. I mean, guys, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, there's going to be gaps, let's face it. So just continue layering. And the great thing about this is that you can rip pieces to fit. Like so. Right, so I have my first layer. I'll probably stand to do a little piece over here. Some in the middle. Right. So the next layer would be, if you're making a traditional lasagna, would be the meat. So we're using our veg mix. And guys, it really smells awesome. Doesn't it look like minced meat? I think so. I really do. I think it looks awesome. Maybe a little bit more over here where I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So that's a layer. And the next layer would be your cheese. And I'm sorry guys, I forgot to mention in the beginning, and I just reminded myself when I went to get the ricotta, I also am using one tub of 1% low-fat cottage cheese as well. But you can omit that. You can just use ricotta if you want. And I've mixed it all together with some salt and a little bit of salt, pepper, and some Parmesan cheese, the grated kind that comes in those little bottles. And this would be your next layer, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to layer this in. And then what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to leave you here because I'm going to see what I'm doing in my kitchen. And I'm going to spread this out carefully and then just build the next layer. And you just keep building and building until you're done. And just be gentle with it, you know, like so, and spread it around. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave you here. You guys get the gist of it. That's what you do to layer lasagna. You all know, you've seen it, you've eaten it, and then I'll show you when it's all assembled. Okay guys, see you in a bit. Alright guys, I'm all layered up. It looks like it's overflowing. This is not sauce, don't forget, it's the peppers. And what I did with the ricotta on the last layer on the top is I've just put it into little blobs, and I'm going to just slowly mix them together because I don't want it, it's going to melt, right? And it's going to spread, and I don't want it to overflow. This is quite full. So if you have a bigger lasagna pan, use it. So I'm just going to gently blend this together. And don't forget, guys, you're going to add a little bit more cheese on top, like when it's done. So if it looks skimpy now, wait until it's done. And don't forget, there's layers of it in here too. So okay guys, yeah, I cook with my hands. Alright, this is going to go into an oven, not very long and not very high, because everything is basically cooked. We just want to heat this through, and then we're going to let it sit until the cheese melts and whatnot, and then we're going to let it sit and let it settle before we cut into it. Alright guys, I'll show you when we're all done. Well, hello. Did anyone call for perfect veggie lasagna? Guys, my lasagna is out of the oven, and it's so perfect. It smells awesome. And I'm going to let this sit for a little while before I cut into it. And I hope you guys try this. Thanks so much for watching. You guys are great. Thank you so much for subscribing. I have a bunch of new subscribers, which I really appreciate. And guys, I hope you guys try this awesome vegetarian lasagna with the flavors of Malta. Alright guys, we'll see you next time on Memories of Malta. Ciao.